I'm not mad at it. I'm happy they did it. I'm happy we got to see it as fans. But to go on forward, I don't really need to see that anymore. I know what's going on now. I know where the team's at. I know where the
Mhm.
vibe and the chemistry is. So as long as we keep putting up dubs, like I'm super happy for real.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy you said that right now. You reminded me of something that I was telling a friend of mine the other day. How many more primetime games we have this year? You know, even though we're not so good and all that, but if you remember a few years back, we played the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. That was the most
Yeah,
watched Thanksgiving game in a long ass time. And the
yeah,
NFL knew, even though the Raiders aren't good, the ratings will be up because the fans will watch. The Raider fans will come to Dallas. And even though people may say your team sucks, you're the laughing stock, Raider Nation, the true Raider Nation, will always cheer, will always
always,
watch, and travel
always.
to go watch these damn teams. Best
Yeah,
believe. So when I saw how many games we had, I wasn't shocked. I was like, it makes sense because they know the
yeah.
ratings are gonna go up, bro. Like,
Hey,
come on.
I gotta tell you this. It is setting itself up to be one hell of a Christmas. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yes.
We
Oh,
playing.
you think
We
that's
playing
like
for
you
Christmas
I
think
am
that's by coincidence we're playing
and
Kansas
that's
City
why
on
I
Christmas?
said I gotta say
on Christmas. On
man,
Christmas Day.
yeah, we played the Chiefs
Oh,
We play the Chiefs, bro.
in
hmm
Kansas City.
I didn't even
It is
realize the tail end of the season yet.
every bit of my fiber is killing me. Like
That
my
is what is
wife
up.
is watching this right now, so I got I want to go to Kansas City so bad. I have to bring the whole family. It's Christmas Day. It's a
Yeah,
Christmas.
Yeah, it is.
we were thinking the same because my brother is a Chiefs fan
Oh,
and my sister. So we're
Oh,
like, oh, let's travel. But we're like, damn, that's Christmas
yeah,
Day though. Like that's a
it
lot.
is literally Christmas Day.
not only the
Yeah.
family, but everybody's traveling around that time.
And that's
Yeah,
the worst
exactly.
part of
Yeah,
it all. It's gonna be
Yeah.
a nightmare going through. But
yeah.
I
Mhm.
have
Prices go up for everything. Just
but I have a feeling, Raider Nation, ladies and gentlemen, that this Christmas game is going to probably be the biggest Christmas game watched of all time.
Oh.
Just my 2 cents.
I'm with you.
I mean, if we keep going the way we're going, I can see us getting at least one game on Kansas City. I mean, Denver beat them.
Oh yeah, yeah. That I mean, and the thing people forget, like when you talk about rivalries, like that happens. If you
Yeah,
think about the years we used to win 2, 3 games a year, one of those games was against Kansas City.
yeah,
Right.
You know, rivalries are rivalries, and I wasn't shocked Denver won because they're rivals. So
yeah,
us in the AFC West, we know that we can lose to any one of them, or we can beat any one of them. That's just how it goes.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's facts. That's
hmm
facts. I mean, it like we were touching on. Like this is the first time we've ever seen five wide, and it just opened up so much of the offense. Like when they ran the 4 or 5 set receivers, it looked like a completely different offense out there. Like the middle of the field was literally wide open for
Wide
Jacoby
open.
Myers. Like I mean, they could even threw Mayer in there or
hmm
Hooper and done something with them. So I mean, I really think there's at least one, maybe two games that we're not supposed to win that we're gonna win. I
Yeah,
just have that
definitely.
gut feeling, especially after all this, and we keep going in the right direction. I think Sunday against the Jets is really gonna tell us, like, okay, was it that one hit wonder, or is this really something real? You know,
Right.
and let's transition over to the Jets. What's your guys' takes on Sunday's game?
Man, I think this is the perfect transition game exactly from what we just left, right? Because our offense have finally gotten a chance to get a little bit wide open, right? They've, had different sets, caused a lot of confusion, things that, right, the defense didn't expect to see. But now we're playing a real defense. So that's going to be awesome. And then you have the flip side of it, right? We have our defense, right, playing against a team that's pretty stacked. They're just lacking one piece, and it just so happens to be the most important piece on the field, which is the quarterback. So, I mean, we both got our challenges, right? Because if Zach that decides to come in ball comes to play, our defense is going to be challenged, and we already know we're going to be challenged on the offense. So
Yeah,
Offense.
I think it's the perfect game at the perfect time. That's the key. I think it's perfect.
And especially like how you said, Zach Wilson. I mean, he has like, I don't even want to say flashes. I want to say maybe like a couple plays a game. You know, if that where he kind of shows he's a good quarterback, or he could be a decent quarterback maybe, but the consistency isn't there. You know, so if our defense can really put pressure on him, and our secondary can just do their job, you know, stay on their receivers or whatever long enough for, you know, the defensive line to get in there and make some type of impact, you know, whether it's throwing it away, whether it's an incomplete pass, more interceptions, Amik Robertson flying through the air like an angel, you know what I'm saying? Like,
dude.
When I saw that, it's like he was falling in slow motion, and it was like the whole world stopped. I was just like, Amik, you know, like he did it again, you know, like he is showing out this season, you know, and big ups to shout out to Amik Robertson, man. And you earn your spot for real.
Absolutely.
But yeah, going back to the Jets, I really think just like how you guys said, I think we both have our problems, which is like how you said, Turf. It's the perfect game for us to see if we're going to continue this uprise, you know. And I was saying earlier, even if we might lose, you know, as long as it's competitive and we don't lose like a lot and we stay in it, I'm still gonna, you know, applaud this team, you know, for what they did, because it's not going to be an easy game, especially for our offense, you know. So if we can do 3/4 of what we did in that Giants game, or even more, like, I'll be super happy.
Like, for real. Yeah, and I love football. I do. I watch all the teams, all the games, whatever. The Jets to me have always been one of the interesting teams, even last year, because coming into this year, I always said all they needed was a quarterback. They have a quarterback, these dudes can go on a run because that defense can carry you. Yeah. And then you add Breece Hall coming back with the run game, bro. I don't think Sunday was a one-hit wonder, and I'll tell you why, because of the way our defense is playing. Our defense did it starting with Detroit. They carried on over to New York, and I don't see why the defense wouldn't continue to do it against the Jets. My only thing that, like I said from the beginning, is how our offense is going to come out. If we come out and can get a lead on these dudes, so where they can't keep running the ball with Breece Hall, and we make Zach Wilson be the one that beat us, then we will fucking be able to dominate him in that way. But that all goes to see how our offense plays, how Bo is going to come out, how they're going to get Aiden set up. Like, if we see more of that that 5-5-4 wide or whatever, I like it, because it tells Aiden they're not playing man. Yeah. You know, it lets him recognize it. Or even when they do their little the motions. We talked about the motions. Yep. I was rewatching the game, and even Jacoby, on the one where he scored, he was motioning like he was gonna block somebody.
Like he was like,
boom, he just got the ball and he took off. Yep. Like things like
dropped that foot, my food just took off. I was like, oh shit, it's a run.
Exactly. So things like that. If we can catch the Jets off guard and score, say what, two touchdowns, and make Zach Wilson be the one to beat us, then we'll be in more better shape. But because Breece Hall's no punk, like that dude can run, and we saw what Saquon was doing to us before the Giants had to give up running the ball and they had to start throwing it. So that could have been a little dangerous. But I think it's going to be a really good game. It's reminding me of like those old school defensive battles I used to watch with the Steelers and the Ravens. I love those games. Yeah. Like, give me a 13-10 game where it's defense. That's my kind of fucking game. Yeah. I love watching those.
I'll be all for a game like that.
Yeah. So that's kind of like what I'm looking forward to on Sunday, brother. Absolutely.
Yeah. I was really shocked because of all that about for the Jets defense. I mean, they might be careful about for Zach Wilson, but in my point of view right now, I mean, this is gonna be like really exciting because our key matches is gonna be like run the game, have a game plan exactly what we do against New York Giants over the last time, and of course, we might be careful about for Zach Wilson. And I know the offense just gave like exposed last night against the Chargers. I mean, we have the opportunity to take over the defense and the offense. It might be like a lockdown, but we had to be ready at this point of view after New York Giants, because the other one is going to be like another statement. but we had to be careful about Zach Wilson as a quarterback because it's not gonna be Aaron Rodgers because he's still injured and they gotta go prepared. And I mean, the offenses might be careful, but if we can play much aggression and intensity like we used to do at last night, at the last game, I mean, we had a chance. And of course, between for 2 games against Kansas City Chiefs, we might have a chance because before last year, we just lost. But with that new attitude, with that new energy, with Antonio Pierce, we have an opportunity to beat the Chiefs not one, twice, because we're bringing it back for the culture, and this could be like a great statement because everybody thought that the Chiefs is gonna be like the first one, but I think, in my opinion, right now the Chiefs and Pius gotta be down because right now we gotta take over the conference because the competition is gonna be tougher, but we gotta take over the first place
Yeah.
at the last moment.
Right. I
That's
think
right.
we're almost guaranteed a great game, guys, because again, I've already discussed why the buy-in is going to be so paramount, just due to the fact that everybody had input. See, that's one of these, being a people leader, being a leader in my space in corporate America. One of the things I do is incorporate everybody's opinion right before a decision is made. And again, like I stated, it makes everyone feel involved and not only involved, accountable. So you're guaranteed to see that moving forward. See, this is the type of team that inside that locker room, you don't want to be the dude that had one cigar too many, couldn't hold his liquor. Right? You don't want to be that guy, right? Because see, that's the difference. See, I've been on teams. I can't say been on a team that's won it, but I've been on some great teams. And like AP stated, great teams are absolutely 100% team run. It's held accountable by the team members, man. I mean, we all held each other accountable. That was the last thing that coaches need to think about doing, right? That was their worries. The players were way motivated. They didn't need anybody to motivate them from that perspective. You just needed the coaching, right? So that you're given the right game plan. So to think we're going to lay an egg on having attitude and swagger and that's impossible. That's impossible.
Shit.
No,
Sorry
you're
about
right,
that, guys.
It's all good. They heard the message. They got it. But yeah, it's almost impossible, man. And the last but not least, we could have been doing this week 1. See, that's
the hard part.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no reason to think there's going to be a letdown from that perspective because they're going to switch things up. They're going to make adjustments. This is my system. We're going to just run ourselves into the ground until we get it right. No, it's all decisions by the team for the team.
Yep.
Right.
So it's impossible. It's impossible.
Just touching on everything you just said right now, it reminds me to something else that Max Crosby was saying, how they went up to them and they asked offense and defense, like, what do you guys want to run? Like, what do you guys like to run? What are you guys comfortable running? What do you guys like to do? So the fact that the players are like, all right, yeah, let's do this. They're telling themselves like, oh shit, like we're the ones that asked for this. Like we really gotta, execute. And like you said, accountability, like it's on the players now when the coordinators come up to them and like, all right, what do you guys want to do? And the coordinators actually buy into what the players want and they start doing it, So I think that gives a little bit more effort on some of the guys that maybe, like how Turf was saying, maybe didn't feel involved before, So just, I mean, it always feels good when your boss comes up to you and says, good job, or, what can I do to make your job easier,
I'm telling you right now, they had absolutely zero input. It's obvious. You don't even need to ask that question.
Yeah, you could
see
they
were running what they were told.
Yeah,
they were doing what they were told. They're
Yeah.
supposed to be robots. It's the Patriot way, right?
Yeah.
And it's demoralizing. It becomes a soul snatcher. It just takes everything. Again, I've been on both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
story on my live last night or Tuesday night where we had a high school coach in his 70s. We running the wing team, man, and it's like this is enough. So we had to have our parents speak up for us to get him fired. And what do you know? Immediately the next season, they didn't have playoffs, but absolutely everything changed. And guess what we were doing? We were running things. When it was 4th and 1, I'm getting the ball. And guess what? Everybody looked at, Terrence is getting the ball. It was no right. And guess what? I didn't get the first down. But you see what I'm saying? It was
I get you.
run by the team.
Yeah.
It really, truly has been. Every level I've played, it's always been run by the team when we've had a great team. So I think you're going to see that, man. I mean, and then you're going to see the holes, right? Because that's the other part of it. We're going to know where we're soft. People are going to know where they're lacking. And, hey, you better have a good weight room season on the off season. Somebody coming in, practice squad is here now. See, they wasn't at the games before.
Yeah.
Right. You noticed that? That was huge.
I didn't notice that until I heard it.
So he like, yep, that dude ready to take your spot. He
like, you want to be here? You know what I'm saying? This is what it feels like, to be on the field and everything.
Self-accountability when you allow it to be for the group and about the group is almost impossible to stop.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah, that's true when you think about it. Like, I've been on teams where you do it their way and everybody's so miserable and they don't let you do it any other way but theirs. You don't utilize your team's strengths, anything like that. And then when we finally made the change, like, everybody was wondering, like, hey, what's the difference? And I was like, because I started listening to people and then they would tell me what they were good at and I started using them for that. So then, like, my chief would be like, what? And I was like, yeah, like, it's the same people. We're doing a lot better, but you changed the leadership. You put me in charge and now I'm hearing them using their strengths, what they do best, and I'm letting them do it. So that's the only difference, bro. Before, we were being told how to do it, when to do it, and where to do it. And we didn't want to come do it that way because it wasn't working. So yeah, I definitely hear you how that works, and that's why I want to keep seeing. And I'm glad that they're at a point where there's not much really they can do with the coach other than you put an intern and a GM and let's see where it goes, and we can just let these dudes do what they do. Like AP says, I'm playing with house money right now. I'm playing with house money. I'm going to do what I can and will do because I'm allowed to right now. And if I earn this job, I'm going to go out there and earn it. And if not, then that. And I've done a lot of research on them. But don't get it twisted. It's not like AP wasn't qualified for this position. Like, there were people out there that were already looking at him to promote him to different defensive coordinator, things like that. Or even with Champ. How many teams have an assistant general manager to the general manager? Like, they kept him around for a fucking reason. Mark's not as dumb as people think, like Champ wasn't just there for him to follow. Like people in the league were already talking about this dude and possibly having him come to their team as a GM. So him being here, being able to do that, already making moves by bringing in Jalen Smith and adding needs to the linebacking core, which we've been screaming all damn year for, instead of adding more defensive backs. Like the first move, bringing Jalen Smith and getting rid of David Long, I was like, I already like it. I already like it. Like, let's go. Like, so I'm just looking forward. I'm gonna keep staying positive, like y'all say. We're gonna cheer, screaming Raiders every damn Sunday. I'm bringing that swag back. I'm gonna try. Haters. Yeah, I'm gonna try and make it out there on Sunday to kick it with y'all. If not, I'm definitely gonna be there in December for the game against the Vikings. But yeah, dude, it's just I'm loving it. I'm loving what I see and what I feel. And even when I watch the press conferences, I'm not there like, oh, even the chat and the conferences when you watch them. Yeah. Normally all you see is firing, fuck Daniels, fire.
Clown emoji.
Right, all you see is clown, or you know.
Exactly, yeah. And when and we're good, and then we try to,
oh man,
that way, no, I don't. No.
Yeah, that's why I used to say every time. I don't fucking know what you mean. Explain that shit to me. I do not know what the fuck you're talking about.
You should have hired a public speaker, my dude. How do you not?
I always wonder why they didn't. Yeah,
you have millions of dollars.
Yeah,
say
hire a PR person. Real shit.
I don't get it. I just
take some classes. No, I to touch back on one thing that Leo said before. I don't know how much time you guys got before you guys get out of here. I really think what we've been doing, or what we did in that Giants game, for our defense to go out there first, make a stop, and then for us to go and make a quick score.
Hard.
It really did feel like the Giants had to play catch up, and they were running the ball good, but once we got it going, and the defense kept doing their thing. After that first score, we kind of just kept our foot on the gas, and we didn't get touchdowns, but we still kept putting up points, and our defense still kept coming through. Yeah,
pinned our ears back.
Pinned the ear back.
Pinned them back and got 8 sacks. See, again, we could have been doing this from day one.
8 sacks.
But Josh McDonuts didn't want to allow that. He didn't want anybody doing anything other than his way. And he had his reasons for this, because he wanted to break everyone down mentally to nothing so that he could have it his way and rule the iron fist, if you will, like his daddy, Mr. Bill Belichick. And that way is so old, tired, done, and gone. And everybody's been saying it. I mean, hey, I know I said it way before a lot of other these talking pundits and talking heads have said it, because again, I've lived it. I've literally lived it. And I'll never forget when we had a coach running the wing tee. I'm telling you, there's nothing worse. Nobody wants to play. Nobody's motivated to do anything. The other team knows what you're doing. It's a day. you just getting
embarrassing.
Getting smacked up before. Josh Jacobs, I don't think he ever had a run these whole first few games without somebody on his behind.
Right, without somebody hitting him in the backfield.
Yeah.
He never got to the line of scrimmage unscathed. So it was a
tough 2-3 yards for him every time and shit.
No adjustments, same old, and just a bunch of just terrible mistakes from a coaching perspective. It was so obvious what the problem was.
For sure.
Yeah, no, that's facts. It just goes to show you, what one weak link could do to the entire chain and shit. Like it just having McDaniels at the head of that realm and at the head of that chain, just it crippled the entire team. Him trying to do things his way, and for less than a week of preparation to go out there and put up what they did was nothing less than amazing to me.
Not even like you said, not even just a link, but he was the main one who was supposed to be running the shit. That's what makes it worse. Exactly. And it not only hit the team, but in a way it kind of infected the nation as well. Yeah. And I think that was the worst part. I
mean, because but before the firing and before this win, like I've said it a couple times, there were people that believed in McDaniels, people that didn't. People that wanted Garoppolo, people that didn't, people that hated Carr, people that love Carr, people that want Gruden. People, the fan base was so split. Like I've never seen it like in so many different directions. Over a few things that have happened. And I think a lot of it did come from Josh McDaniels. Like just the way he handled things as a head coach and as a leader. I think there was just a lot of choices he made that were just not the right choice or just handled wrong.
Right. Every choice he made was wrong. Every choice. Let's be real. That was the part.
Okay. Was it though? Because then you go back to what he was saying. A lot of us felt that even though it was time to move on for Carr, it was McDaniels' choice. Was that a wrong choice?
It just makes me think like, why did we hire him?
See, I'm not one of the guys that hated Carr. I wasn't.
Me either. Yeah, I'm not either. Yeah.
I wasn't like shipping him off yesterday, but I'll be the first to raise my hand and say I think it was time for a change.
Okay.
No, I agree though.
9 years, bro. 9 years.
Right.
One playoff game. Yeah. I'm just saying, at some point, you gotta for both parties involved.
Yeah, and I think the funny part is because you watch them with the Saints and you see their fan base, and they're bitching way before we were. They want him gone, and he ain't even been there yet.
When you're that,
Leo made
you can't change who you are anymore. That ship is sailed. He's not going to learn.
Yeah.
The way Leo described that, though, he's like, when you see him do the same thing in a different jersey, and I was
Oh
just
yeah.
like, you got like Raider goggles
Mhm.
on. It's just like,
Yeah.
what the
Mhm.
fuck? It's
Yeah.
Raider
When I
jersey,
watched
Saints
that
jersey. Like,
Thursday night game, I was like, dude. Like,
Oh,
wow.
snap.
Like it stood out more.
unfortunately, I gotta agree with you on that because just
Ah,
there are some things that decisions he makes and times in games where you're just like, what the fuck was that?
right.
You know, like I don't get it. You know, it's like when you hit the
But
wrong button on Madden or some shit.
I mean, when it comes to the case of Derek Carr, I mean, how can you support everything about it? Because after 9 years, I think, and I was saying this, I think it's time to move on. And
right.
since that I was a go for it, I think it's time to move on and go past the page right now. Because how many years did Derek Carr just win a playoff? There's nothing. And it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
it's all same thing, or the different coaches of different, and the experiment is still like it's not working at
Mhm.
all. And I think they have the opportunity to see how they both about the experiment of Antonio Pierce and Adrian O'Connor. It feels like the good chemistry because it's just like a missing part that we needed for because the whole experiment between Jimmy Garoppolo and Josh McDaniels, it didn't
Didn't
insist.
work.
It didn't work at
Yeah.
all. It didn't work at all. It's just like a
Mhm.
garbage because
Yeah.
all
Jimmy
the play
Glass.
calls and of course all these conservative play calls and drawing off of the pass right now. I think like he the most the task for the quarterback is feeding up all the right receivers and the running backs. So what's it do? Jimmy Garoppolo does? He's good at the wide open, but he's fumbling up around it. And I think he's pass
Yeah.
it on page. And I think Aaron O'Connor having the chemistry with Antonio Pierce, it became for the perfect moment. And I know
Yeah.
that Derek Carr is no longer here, so we cannot, but it had to go for it. And I mean, this is like the perfect time because there's no Derek Carr, there's no Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, this is like the best opportunity to see how the chemistry is gonna be involved. Because
Right.
after years of suffering, pain, I think this is the
Mhm.
time for the moment to see like a new rebirth.
Oh
A
yeah.
new rebirth.
And
I'm with you.
ironically, Jimmy Garoppolo finds himself in the same situation as Derek Carr did last year. They're not going to
Yes.
play him. They're not going to play him anymore for the rest of the season because if he gets hurt, then he's guaranteed that 12 million next year. So it ain't exactly like Carr because I think that was like 40 something million.
Oh yeah,
But
that was a
still,
different, way different amount. But
yeah,
yeah.
but at the same time, I mean, Garoppolo's done. You know, he ain't coming
Oh, he's
back,
done.
and I honestly don't think they're gonna play him for the rest of the year. I think if anything does happen, they'll probably just pick someone up.
The
But I
crazy
don't
part
think
is I didn't realize he was listed as the backup on Sunday. I didn't. I like my mind didn't go to who was the backup and who it was. I would just focus on O'Connell and how we were gonna do, and then
Right.
afterwards I was like, oh shit, Jimmy's the backup.
I don't even know. See him in the locker room after the game, though. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I felt a little
Yeah.
bad for him. You know, you see Antonio Pierce like Raider and everybody else, and he's just
But-
like Raider.
But you know what? Kudos to Jimmy for staying there as the backup
Being
because
a
that
team
was
player,
what a lot of
yeah.
people told me about my dude when he picked up his football and went home. When
Who
they
that?
made him, but my car when they made him a backup
No,
and
they
instead of
made him
staying
go
there,
No,
like, they made him go home.
They
Yeah.
made him go home though. You know,
So-
they didn't want him there.
Carr
So
would
that's-
have stayed. They made him go
Yeah.
home. You know,
So,
crying
I think that's the one messed up thing that McDaniels did is he didn't give Chancellor Carr to like say goodbye to the fans, have that last game in Allegiant Stadium. Like I think that was the one thing for me as a fan, like, you know, would have been like, all right, dog, like, thank you for everything you did, you know, good luck to you. I mean, it's still like that, but not for him to be here as long as he did and go through as much shit as he did and not to have that opportunity, I think was fucked up on McDaniels.
But
I'm just
honestly,
not a
there's
good
only
person.
been one player who got that chance, and I think it was Woodson. Tim Brown never got that chance. Marcus Allen never got that chance.
Well, you know,
It's just part of the NFL, you know. I think luckily Woodson got to do that with us, and I'm glad he did. You know, say farewell to Oakland and all that shit with us. But
that shit was
I
dope.
get what you're
I remember
saying
that
though.
game.
But I think that's part of the NFL too. They don't always get to do that. I'm
know.
hoping that eventually one day he does, but who knows?
I mean, hopefully he'll come back one day and get that 1-day contract and, you know, retire a Raider.
Yeah.
Bottom line, Josh McDaniels is not a good person.
Woo.
Fucking
Not
Yeah,
at all.
I'm going there because again, I'm just saying, man, it speaks volumes when people finally start coming out. You know what I'm saying? After the fact. And
Yeah.
it just tells me more than enough, man. I've been a captain on a football team. I've been a leader in my career where I am now, etc. I'm just telling you, man, there's a problem when there's countless people talking about you in a negative way. And I know enough and I've heard enough to know it's just not a good person.
Yeah.
Right.
Not a good person. These are the kind of things that happen, man. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, regardless of if it's you or somebody else, right? And he's not the only not good person in the NFL. There's plenty of them. And there's
No, yeah.
guys that will vouch for that because
Mhm.
there are certain things you will allow yourself to do and will not. Everybody draws the line somewhere.
Right.
And it just goes to show you he has no one. His
No-
heart is cold. It's gone. It's
Not only that, but if you're that type of coach and you're not winning, like what branch do you have to sell on? Like I've heard people bitch about Parcells, what an asshole he was, right? But that motherfucker won Super Bowls though.
he's
So
winning.
what was Phil Sims gonna say? You know,
When you win, nobody cares.
nobody cares. Yeah,
nobody
if
cares.
you're gonna be like that and win, you're gonna be like that then win. But if you're being like that and you're losing, you got issues, bro.
Yeah, especially when from what everything I've heard and the couple of things, I think Crosby came out and said it didn't exactly go down like that, but
Yeah,
when they had that meeting and like all the players, were addressing McDaniels and letting him know how they really felt for him to be the head coach and not address his team personally to ask or tell Antonio Pierce to go up there and speak for him because he doesn't know how to give those kind of speeches. He doesn't know how to talk, period. But he isn't that kind of guy. And then when Pierce, brings up everything, and for him being the head coach of the Raiders to go up to him and be like, don't talk about the Patriots like that. Fool, you're the fucking head coach of the Raiders. Fuck the Patriots.
It goes.
But you already heard Max that it didn't go down like that.
It goes even further steps back, bro. It goes further steps back, man. I mean,
yeah, I agree. It's just for him to have that opportunity to address the team as a head coach, like, all right, yeah, I've been
well,
fucking up
what I
whatever.
mean as far as for it to go further back is again part of that not being a good person, because if you're a good person, chances are you have a good self-awareness.
Yeah,
and as a head
true.
coach, you should know every play. You should know how to push every player's button like you know each and every child.
Yeah.
And again, that just goes to show you just don't got it. And the fact he was so hurt and blindsided over all those stories about, right? I didn't know how anyone felt. That is the problem to start. It doesn't even matter. And nothing else matters. You didn't even, the fact that you failed at not knowing that before you had to get to that point tells you
not even, like how you said, not even being aware of it.
Self-awareness, man. It's a thing that a lot of people, I guess it's not common sense or just naturally to have because no, I'm being honest, man.
Common sense ain't so common. You know that, sir.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Awareness, man.
So we're passing a little bit over an hour here, right, guys? I appreciate all you guys' time. You guys want to give your final thoughts, whether it's about the game, the team, and then shout out, your guys' pages and stuff. Like I said, I don't have a moderator. I don't know how to do all that.
No worries. To shoot you, I don't have one either, man. Hey, I'll take this shit.
I don't either. We're good. The three of us, we're gonna have to get in the chat and figure out how to get a moderator.
We all growing together, fam. We all growing together.
Hey, I appreciate you, homie. As you stated, this was my first time, and I couldn't have had a better time, man. I really appreciate the hospitality. I think this was awesome topics that we got discussed and debated, if you will. And I can't wait to come back for another show, man. I'm over at the Ultimate Raider Fan 32. That's Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. And I'm gonna continue to keep giving the fans as much information and knowledge that I have based on a person that's played this game and just love it since 5-6 years old. So appreciate you,
man. Yeah, thank you again for being here. you know, just blessing my channel and, you know, your knowledge, your opinion, everything, you know, like you said, I felt like we covered a lot of stuff that's happened in this week since the game. So, you know, I'm pretty sure we're going to get another show going before the Jets, and, you know, we'll probably touch a little bit more on that one. Leo, why don't you go ahead and final thoughts and shout yourself out, man.
Oh man, you know me. I'm all about supporting this team, this cause, everything we do. You know, much love to you guys, our little group that we've been creating. And I'm glad that we're able to bring the shit we talk about on our chat amongst each other to the fans. You know, because those talks that we have on there, that's what we bring on here. The real football talk, the what's going on behind you. You know, not been making shit up or try to get shit for attention, because we're not all about that. You know, we're here just to talk about the shit that's going on with the nation, with the team, how hype we are. We stay hype, and I'm always gonna stay hype, bro, because I'm a diehard
Yeah.
Raider since I was a kid. I'm a diehard LA Raider fan, just so you know. I'm
Oh,
always gonna be about that shit. So just follow me, you know, Instagram, TikTok, here on YouTube at Cheeto Linus. You know, always, bro. It's a pleasure be meeting you. You know, you've come down this way, down the hill to watch games with us, brother. You're always more than welcome to, and we just always keep it real around here, brother.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you again, man, for being here on the very first episode of Real Men Are Raiders podcast. You know what I'm saying? You saw me going back and forth with names and everything, and I just decided to keep it on what it is because it says exactly what it is. You know,
Exactly, bro. Stay with it.
you know. So once
Yeah.
again, Leo, I appreciate your time, man. We'll be talking to you soon. Rafa, go ahead and give me your last thoughts. Go ahead and shout yourself out, YouTube, social medias, anything like that.
Well, my final thoughts. This is gonna be like a really exciting game between Raiders versus Jets, with the same mentality, with the same energy, with Antonio Pierce, and I think we had a chance to prove to the whole world that we can shock with the whole defense and offense. And you can follow me on social media at Capitan Rafucho on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Also, my channel, Rafael Chacin, is hitting up for more than 800 subscribers. And I'm doing
Now,
like a Bring It Back My Raiders podcast, every episode with special guests. Also, not only I'm gonna talk it about for the Raiders, but also with kind of sports like basketball, UFC, of all kind of sports of combat, and I really loved it. So appreciated that, and of course, have a great one, folks, and salute to you. Then, real man,
Thanks
real
again,
talk.
Rafa.
I just wanted to say it: Raider Nation for life.
Yes, sir.
yeah, baby.
Raiders, baby. And just my final thoughts, my final conclusions, y'all. You know, I'm super happy I was able to get this series going. You know, thank you again to my guests that were here today, and to everybody in the chat that showed up, hung out, commented, just engaged with us. Like, that's what this is all about. We want to hear what you guys have to say. We want to hear what you guys think. You know, we want to bring you guys the content that you guys want, as well as doing what we want at the same time. You know, so getting your guys' feedback, opinions, commenting, all that stuff, it lets us know exactly, you know, if we're doing the right thing, and you know, if we're giving the audience, you know, what they want. So shout out to everybody that showed up again. Once again, this is Real Men Are Raiders, CT Dinero, real men, real talk, all the time, nothing but Raiders. And I'm out, y'all. Peace.
Peace out.
Peace out, y'all. I appreciate you guys.